Hello, everyone. Welcome. It's Friday. It's Chat with Mac. We're glad to have you. To all our newer individuals that are joining us, we're glad to have you. Also, Nadeem, how's it going, sir?
Oh, going pretty good. Excited. A lot of changes. We thought 2020 was bad. 2021 so far has been interesting.
To say the least. Yeah, it's been quite interesting to say the least. But
We were talking, and you had mentioned something about you're talking to people and getting some feedback, and customers and people out there are asking you for something. Let's talk a little bit about that. What's going on?
Honestly, the calls, this year have been so much more in depth, and I think what happened was we had the deep freeze that happened. Was that last month or earlier this month? I forget. I want to really forget it. But and so now so many people were impacted as far as that deep freeze is concerned. And then unfortunately, we're seeing a lot of people that are having security issues. That has been the biggest focal point. As far as a lot of my calls have been like, well, on the security front, we're not doing too hot. We just got hit. We thought we were okay. We thought we had everything in line. And, it was just one of those things. I know we talked about it earlier this week where we were just saying, there might be something where we can help educate people on what's out there. Because what I'm starting to see is, I think people, and it's weird, security is it's getting top of mind now, but for a lot of smaller business owners, it's still not there until, boom, something happens. Exactly. Now they have to figure something out. Yeah.
Yeah, so we see that a lot, right? I mean, I've seen we'll reach out to customers and we'll say, hey, we want to put these protocols in place because the setup that you have is not secure, or we are anticipating certain threats. We need to put some protections in place. And a lot of times, the smaller customers, they think of security as insurance. They don't want to have it, but if they are compelled to have it, they will. And that's not how you should consider security. Security should be more proactive. And I've made so many different videos and we've done webinars around security. Security is always a layered approach. The more layers you have, the harder it is for the bad guys to get in, the easier they will give up. Otherwise they will be persistent. And it actually happened earlier this week. There was a prospect we were talking to, and we did an assessment. We made some recommendations, and the decision maker said, "Okay, yeah, that's all fine." And I asked them specifically. I remember I talked to them over the phone, and I was like, "Hey, this is what we recommend, and this is why." And they were like, "Yeah, we see that, but we've never had any issues in the past, so I think we're okay. We're not going to do this." And then, of course, a few days after that, well, actually a few weeks after that, one of their users got a credential breach. And now all of a sudden it was like, oh, hey, I need help yesterday. And it's like, yeah, but, that's it's to be expected because, we work on the principle of assume breach, right? And what that means is we are going to assume you are and we are and everybody is going to get breached at some point. What we have to do is not only protect from that breach, but also have processes around what happens when that breach occurs, what to do when that breach occurs. One of the things that I'm noticing is a lot of customers, they have a breach and they try to rectify it themselves. And in the process, they destroy critical evidence. This is critical evidence that their insurance or their customers' insurance or, third-party companies require to have insight into for coverage or to get coverage under their insurance because, hey, one of our partners got breached. It really wasn't on our side. Well, now you've destroyed critical evidence, trying to rectify that. So The first thing that I say, if you have a breach, if you have an inkling of a certain machine that's gotten breached, the first thing you should do is just disconnect that machine from the network. Isolate that machine. Don't try to fix anything, because in the process of fixing stuff, you're going to end up destroying critical evidence. Now, think about it this way. Back in Jack the Ripper days, how bad were the cops? They destroyed evidence so that people won't see the blood in the streets to try to protect the people. Now we understand that was a bad thing to do. They ended up destroying critical evidence. Yep. And that case may never get solved, right? And it's the same thing in this day and age that happens in IT. A Jack the Ripper type case happens and people try to fix things, and in the process, they destroy critical evidence. And once that critical evidence is gone, we're talking about digital evidence. So once it's gone, it's gone. I mean, How are you going to get it back? It's not like, it's not like you can collect the water in the drains and analyze the blood in it. You can't do that. It's That's digital. True. It's gone, destroyed, boom. So, and we talked a little bit about this, how can we bring this message to customers, prospects, other small businesses out there? And, like you suggested, Mac, I think it might be a good idea to have sort of a webinar. Now I know, people's eyes are glossing over another webinar. No, we're not going to do it just another webinar. So here's what we're going to do. We normally do webinars and we cover a lot of info on webinars. It's about an hour long. Sometimes it even goes over. So what I want to do is something short and sweet and small that just talks to decision makers. It doesn't talk about technology itself. It talks more about the business side of things, not the technology side of things, right? So if we can do something like that, maybe 15, 20 minutes webinar, and then have like a 10-minute Q&A after that. I think that Q&A is going to have a lot of impact, because a lot of business owners and decision makers out there have a lot of questions that they can't just go out to their IT guy and say, hey, what do you think about so-and-so? The IT guys either haven't heard of it, or they're getting that inkling that, the owner might want to, go to another third party for an assessment or something like that. Of course, there is no incentive in them to say, oh yeah, let's get an assessment done. Right. But, like anything in life, if you cannot measure it, you cannot control it. Right. And an assessment is just that measuring piece. Once you measure what you have, then you can make decisions to control that, to change the outcome of things. So I think, this would be a good question for everybody who's listening to this video. What do you guys think? When should we do this webinar? Would you like to participate in it? And if you would like to participate in it, I would say write down a few questions that you have. We'll try to answer all your questions. Well, let me rephrase that. I'll try to answer all your questions. Now, I don't have all the answers, but I can find out the answer. So if I don't have the answer to your question, I'll find out and get you the answer. How about that?
I like that. I think that'll be great.
So I think we'll ask everybody out there who's watching these videos, hey, let's when do you want to do a webinar? It's only going to be like 15, 20 minutes, and then have a Q&A after that, a 10-minute Q&A. It's going to be, since it's going to be a webinar, you can call in. It'll be, we can anonymize things, so it doesn't have to be. First thing, let me say this: there is no such thing as a dumb question, right? Because what you think is a dumb question, the person sitting next to you is thinking about the same question, but they're thinking it's a dumb question, so they're not going to ask it either. And I learned that a while back. It's like, there is no such thing as a dumb question, right? So folks, let us know when you think is a good time to do a 10 to 15 minute, not 10 to 15, probably going to be 15 to 20 minute webinar, and then maybe a 10-minute Q&A after that. Write down all the questions that you might have, and let us know. You can reply back to some of our emails that go out. You can comment on the videos. You can reach out to us, call us, or email us. However you want to do it, get us the, either the questions beforehand, or you can ask us in the call. We'll have a chat option, so if you're joining from a computer, you'll be able to ask in the chat. So we'll see if we can't answer all your questions. we'll get the answers to all the questions later if we need to. And then I think this will be one of those things where everybody is gonna walk away with something that they did not know.
Absolutely.
And I mean, so far I've had so many meetings with customers and prospects, and every time I talk to them, they're like, and I don't even think about some of the things that I say, and they're like, hey, Nadeem, that's a good way you put it. I never thought about it that way, and that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And so I'm hoping that we can do the same thing for everybody who is in that webinar, where you're gonna walk away with something that you didn't know, or maybe you thought did not apply to you, but it does, or the implications of certain things. So I think that'd be a great idea.
I think it's an awesome idea. Yep.
And Mac, the only thing I ask of you is you'll have to be the moderator, because you'll have to throttle me back a little bit.
Always. That's what I'm here for.
I'm going.
Awesome. Yeah. So, please, ladies and gentlemen, let us know. And like Nadeem said, the other webinars we've had, people have gotten so much great information from them. Nadeem is thorough, but what I love about what Nadeem does is that he breaks down stuff that some people think is overly complicated to layman's terms, where you're like, oh, I get it. So I think it'll be great for everyone to attend.
And this is not to say that business owners and decision makers don't understand things, or IT is too complicated for them.
Right.
IT is not complicated. A lot of people throw out some jargon words, some complicated acronyms, and I put it this way: look, if somebody cannot explain to a 2-year-old about something, then that means they themselves don't understand it well enough. So if I cannot explain what I'm trying to explain to a 2-year-old, then I don't understand that piece myself. That's on me. It's not on anybody else. And it is like this no matter where you go. I mean, I've sat in front of lawyers, and lawyers try to complicate things with weird terms, or even some ancient defunct languages, and I'm like, hey, put it to me in plain English. Put it to me in plain English, or French, or Hindi, or something that I understand. Don't try to make something up so that I don't understand it, or try to influence my decision by throwing out some complex words, but technology is not complicated. It is a lot of different simple things working together. It seems complicated, but it really is not.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Awesome. I love it. I can't wait.
I think we'll call it a day at that, and everybody have a great weekend, and reach out, let us know when you want to do this webinar, and if you have any questions, feel free to send them in, and we'll try to answer all the questions that we get. And everybody have a great day, and be safe out there.
Everyone have a good one. Bye.